Good morning, guys. So it's a bit of a morbid topic today. Yesterday evening at around 7:20 my grandfather died. This is my Maltese grandfather I'm talking about. My English grandfather died about 5 years ago now. He was 80 years old in 2 days. It was about 6 days after my birthday. So that was quite a while ago, and I hadn't seen him in about 3 years, so all my memories of him are really good, positive memories. I didn't see his decline or anything, which I like at the end of the day. You know, I think grandchildren shouldn't necessarily be forced to watch their grandparents, you know, sort of become frailer and frailer if they don't want to. And he basically used to smoke. You know, he smoked since he was a child. However, he was pretty fit. You know, he used to cycle from Bristol to Bath and back easily, and this, that, and the other. However, in the end, he got some bronchitis one time he was over, and I didn't realize it at the time because I was still a bit young. And they took him to one of the private hospitals here, and he got a bit of oxygen deprivation that evening. He could have died, and because of the oxygen deprivation he got a bit of brain damage, which just started off the whole decline over the next 3 years, getting some dementia and this, that, and the other. Eventually being put into a home because my grandmother couldn't quite care for him by herself, and what got him in the end was basically a vein in his leg collapsed, obviously from the years and years of smoking and whatnot, and eventually his heart gave out, which sort of, you know, it wasn't a terrible decline. In a way, I wish I had seen him, you know, a bit, you know, less, in a sense, sorry. I wish I had seen him maybe a year before he died rather than 3 years before he died. But that's life. I can't, you know, turn the clocks back. Now, this grandfather, my Maltese grandfather who just died, he was 87, so very nice, ripe old age. And what was really poetically romantically sad at the same time was yesterday. It was their 61st wedding anniversary. You know, that's quite a long time, and you know, just imagine, you know, being on your wedding day and just not really knowing that 61 years from then, you know, you'd be dying on that day too. It is rather sweet, you know. They got together on the same day and they left, you know, on the same day. He was a doctor, so sort of like quite well known on the island, and a great man. Loved classical music, and he's sort of like a metalhead for classical music, you know, every Sunday blaring it out of his amazing sort of 2-meter speakers and this, that, and the other. He hadn't been well for a long time, so his, you know, decline in health and the end was sort of like, in a way, mentally prepared for. He had diabetes since his 40s, I think. However, he used to take really good care of it. The only problem was he didn't really exercise, so there was that. And in the last few months he's had a bit of problems with his diabetes, with his liver, and he was hospitalized at one point, partly for dehydration, and he was just becoming frailer and frailer, and eventually he had a couple of falls, and the last one, I'm afraid, fractured his pelvis, and that was sort of like, you know, warning bells, especially for me, being, you know, very used to healthcare situations. You know, once you have a massive fracture like that, it's unlikely they'll really come back well from it, especially at that age. And then he had some kidney problems, sort of kidney failure last week. And then finally, yesterday morning at 9, a very nice, reasonable hour, the hospital called us and sort of said, it's kind of, you know, you better come in. So all his children went over, and they were taking it shifts, sort of visiting him all day. And then towards the evening, you know, again, a really nice, giving people time to mentally prepare themselves. but at the same time not dragging it out, because there are people who can come to either the stage before or this last stage, the last day, where you'd be amazed. They can last days, weeks on, and you know, people can get really exhausted thinking, when is it going to happen? So I'm really glad it didn't drag out, and it was very peaceful in the end. He died in his sleep, so I wasn't struggling or anything of the sort. So yeah, it's a bit of a quiet week ahead, I think. I don't know, I just felt like sharing this with you. I don't know how many people on YouTube share information about deaths in their families. I avoid funerals like the plague, I'm afraid. I just really, really, really don't like death and the notion of death. I'm not religious. So death scares me, you know. The possibility of nothing being on the other side scares me, and I don't really like to think about it. However, this is definitely one funeral I can't avoid, and I don't really want to avoid. My grandfather in England was cremated and then sprinkled into a river, which was rather nice. But over here there's no cremation, so he will certainly be buried. Don't know what to wear yet. It's a bit morbid, you know, looking around for funeral clothes, as a cousin said to me. But yeah, he will definitely be missed. He's a great man. Yeah, sorry. But yeah, I thought I'd just, I don't know, share that with some people. And I've got a couple of scanned photos back in the day when, you know, he was really young, which are always interesting to see. I love going through old photos. So yeah, I'm just gonna be there for my grandmother now, and you know, any other family members who are taking it a bit hard. But on the whole, I'm okay. Just, you know, every now and then when I think about him, I get a bit teary. And another thing I'd like to say is that, you know, in the end, he was a very, very religious man, and I'm sure he was just sort of waiting there to sort of open his arms to his creator and you know, go peacefully. And you know, I think he would have liked it that he died on a Sunday, you know. However, at the same time, I can hear him saying, every day is the Lord's day. So yeah, I'm glad that it was nice and, you know, sort of peaceful, and it just wasn't dragged out in the end. So yeah, thanks for listening, and I'll see you later on in the week. Bye.